guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Krystal if you're new. So today I'm going to be doing a second impressions, if that's a thing, on a new eyeshadow palette by Stila. Now Stila came out with two new eyeshadow palettes. I purchased the one that intrigued me the most because of the colors, but I'm very curious now about the other palette. I actually purchased mine from the Stila website. So this is what the packaging looks like right here. This is called the Happy Hour eyeshadow palette, and this is the outer box that it comes in. So this packaging is very heavy duty. So the one I got is Happy Hour. There's another one, I don't know the name off the top of my head, but that one has more warm tones, whereas this one has more like pastel, like cool tones. And if I had to pick between warm and cool, I like cool tones more, to be honest with you. Although you guys probably don't see me wear them as frequently as warm tones. I guess because there's just more warm toned eyeshadows on the market. However, I feel like they're kind of starting to incorporate more on the market when it comes to cool tone palettes. So the color scheme in here just really drew me in. I mean, these shades are absolutely stunning. The packaging on this is so heavy duty, like if you drop this, all the shadows would probably shatter. In this palette, each eyeshadow is 0.80 ounces and it's a net weight of 22.8 grams. All the names of the shadows are on the back. They don't correspond like right behind the shadow, but they go from left to right. So whatever you look at in this palette from left to right is the same as you would read the names on the back. It does come with a full-size mirror, and overall it's just a really nice palette as far as like the packaging goes. It's very heavy duty. I'm just gonna read to you what it says. I actually picked mine up from Stila's website and I used a 20% off coupon code. It is now available on Ulta's website as well as the other palette. And on Sephora, I'm not 100% sure if this palette is available yet. I'm sure it will be, but they did have the other palette. So what it says on the website is Stila's Happy Hour eyeshadow palette, a pro artist curated collection of neutral hues and pop pastels, are definitely meant to mix and mingle. All 12 shades are specifically formulated with micronized silicone treated pigments for superior blending and ultra rich uniform color and dimension. And then it lists all the shades on the back, and it says whether they're a glitter, a shimmer, or a matte. So there are 3 different finishes in this particular palette. So I did 2 different looks with this palette, which I will show you at the end of this video. The first look that I did yesterday, I incorporated the purple shades, and then today I wanted to use that beautiful like teal with this kind of taupey purpley shade over here. So I haven't used 4 of the eyeshadows, but I did play with all of the others. So I will do 2 like mini looks at the end of this video in case you're curious to see how they apply. I'm actually gonna do some close-up swatches for you guys, so you guys can see what they look like up close and personal. So the first shade there is called Daiquiri, and that is described as a marshmallow matte. The next shade here is called Old Fashioned. It's a rose quartz matte. The next one here is called Highball, and it's a seafoam shimmer. So I do feel like I had to use this one wet on the eyes. I felt like it applied best wet. And you can see it's kind of sticking to my finger more than it is sticking to my arm. But I used a brush on my eyes and it applied fine wet. So this next shade right here is called Cosmo. It's a cranberry glitter shade. This purple one is called Sangria. It's an amethyst glitter. Then this gold right here is called Gold Label. It's a deep gold shimmer. This is one of the ones I have not used on my eyes yet. So this black is called Black Book. It's a deep gray matte. So it's not like a really dark black because it is like a gray black. And I kind of think it works with the palette because there's so many pastels in here that having a really dark black would make it maybe too smoky. So I kind of like that it's not as intense as a true black. So this color right here is called Neat, and it's a nude matte. Definitely pulls more cool toned, which I like. I think it's a really pretty nude. If you have a deeper skin tone than I do, then it might not show up the best. I feel like I had to build that shade up a little bit just because of, it's a lighter shade. It's a lighter nude, cool tone shade. This one right here I have not used on my eyes, but it is called On the Rocks, and it's a silver shimmer. This one is called Tiki Bar. It's a lilac glitter. I used this one on the eyes yesterday and I was super impressed. To me, this one feels smoother than some of the other glitters. This one is called Sapphire Sizzle. I have not used this one on my eyes. This one also, you can feel like the silicone in it. And the last one here is called Top Shelf. It's an aubergine glitter. And I'm gonna do it right in the fold of my arm, so I'm apologizing now for my swatches, but so that one I have on my eyes today. It's very pretty. So here's some close-ups of these swatches. So those were the swatches, and let's go ahead and get into the 2 mini tutorials, and then I will come back and let you know my final thoughts on this palette. And the first shade I'm going to take is this one right down here, which is called Neat. It's a matte shade. And I'm going to take a Omnia large crease brush, one of my favorites to use in the crease. And the next shade I'm going to take is this matte purple right here. This one is called Old Fashioned. And I'm going to take an Omnia crease brush. And I'm just going to apply that right over the other eyeshadow, just building the colors up. These eyeshadows don't seem to have a lot of kick up at all. Like, there's no kick up. So I do feel like you do have to build the color up a little bit, which I don't mind at all. Oh, I love these colors. Like, these are some of my favorites. I feel like the lighting is too bright. Is that better? Sorry, I had to change the lighting a little bit, guys. So if it was too bright before, it should be good now. I have like these growths on my eyelid. I think they're like skin tags. Do you see that one right there? Drives me crazy. After this pregnancy, I'm gonna see if I can get them removed at the dermatologist. And I have a couple on this eyelid, but they're lower down. This one's very obvious when I put shadow over it. I'm just gonna go in with the purple today. I'm gonna use this brush. It's the small shader from the Omnia collection. Ooh. Ooh. I think I'm going to do that light purple here. And it's applying really well on its own. No water. This is dry. So I think I'm going to take the darker purple here. Oh, so that light purple, what was that called? That one's called Tiki Bar. And then I'm going to take this purple up here, and I have to figure out the names because they're flipped on the back of this. So I think that one's called Sangria, is this one right here. So I'm going to take Sangria with the same brush, and I'm just going to apply that on the outer portion. Oh my god, this palette is so beautiful. I am getting a little bit of fallout on my face, so it's probably better to do your foundation afterwards, but I was kind of in a hurry, so just wanted to do my foundation first. Just going to use these dry on my lid. Just touching up that first shade. Oh, I love the colors. So then I'm gonna blend the crease out a little bit here. So I'm just gonna take that black right there. It's called Black Block. And I'm just gonna use an angled brush. This one is the Bodyography Pro Brush Angled Liner. Just gonna use the black as the eyeliner. And then, I don't want to deepen out the outer corners too much tonight, but I'm going to use this shade right up here. It's called Daiquiri, and I'm going to put that on my brow bone. And this brush that I'm using is by Sigma. It's the Medium Angled Shading E70. I like to use these angled brushes to apply my brow bone highlight. I take another angled brush, this one right here. This one is actually from Juno & Co. It's the ES18. I'm gonna go back into this shade right here, and I'm just gonna run that back through the crease. So what I do is I put the longer part of the angled brush in the socket, and then just do windshield wiper motions. I'm going to use this pencil brush right here. This is by Juno & Co. It's the ES08. Go back into this shade right here. I wanted to use the mauve purple under my lower lashes, but I told you guys before that I can't use purples on my lower lash line because it gives me an allergic reaction the next day. Not the day that I put it on, but the next day. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the black and this one, and I'm going to mix them together. And I'm going to try to make that color a little deeper. I don't want to make it too deep. If you guys watch my tutorials, most of them are pretty like wearable looks. Because most of the time I'm actually going to go somewhere with the makeup on. So I don't like to do these extravagant looks that are not very wearable out in public. So I'm just putting on mascara. I didn't realize I wasn't recording. This is my Lash Princess mascara by Essence. It's one of my faves. So that is a completed look. I really love the eyes. You guys know purple is my favorite. I'm actually gonna try to apply some of that purple with my finger. Oh yeah. That's so beautiful. So I think I will be back tomorrow with another tutorial with different colors on the eyes. I kind of want to use that green, maybe with the blue. I think that would be good. So thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial, and let's go on with the next. All right, so today is the second look. I already started with this shadow right here, and I'm gonna put that in the crease. I wasn't recording, but this is the same shade I used in the last look. I'm gonna take that shadow right there. And I'm just building this up in the crease too. So today I want to take the minty green right here, which is called Highball. I'm gonna take a flat shader brush first. We'll see how it applies that way. I think I'm gonna wet that shade. I feel like it could be more intense. Oh yeah, that looks much more intense when applied wet. That's pretty. So I'm gonna apply this side wet. But I kind of want to go in with this color right here. And this color right here is called Top Shelf. We will try that one dry first. And these shimmery, glittery shadows, they would probably work really good with the glitter glue. Because I still want this look to be wearable. So that's why I didn't use a blue one, but the blue one looks really pretty. So I'm gonna apply this shadow wet as well. Or should we try it with the glitter glue? Let's try a glitter glue actually. So I'm just gonna take my Sephora glitter guard and I'm just going to tap that on the outer portion of the lid here and see if that shadow sticks better. Otherwise we'll apply it wet. But since these have so much micro shimmer in them, I would imagine that they apply well with the glitter glue. And I feel like it would have worked better if I applied it first before I applied a little shadow. So it's better to do your foundation after. I'm gonna have to wipe off what I have and start over with the foundation, but I am getting lots of glitter flecks all over my face. Keep that in mind. I am going to apply that shade on this eye wet. Oh yeah, I like the way that looks wet. That looks really pretty. Yeah, I feel like you can see much more of the shimmer in the shadow when you apply it wet. I'm gonna go back into that teal and just apply it wet and kind of touch it up, but also bring it in to kind of meet up with that kind of taupey, I don't know, it's like a taupey purpley shade. And then I'm gonna go back in through that purpley shade up here and just run that through the crease. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush and I'm actually going to take the black shade and I'm going to deepen up the outer corner just a little. Bring that through the crease just a little bit. So I'm going to take that black shade again. It's not, you know, when I look at it in the pan, it's not like really like a deep black. It's more like almost like a charcoal black, like not gray, but it's like a softer black, which I don't mind because I feel like these colors, you know, there's like pastel shades in here. I blend the upper edges here with this brush. It's just like a fluffy brush. This is the Royal and Langnickel shader brush. I'm going to take that white shade up here. It's called Daiquiri. And I'm just going to apply that as my brow bone highlight. This brush is a little big for that. I'm going to go back through the two crease colors and apply just a little more, just to add what was blended away. So I finished my face makeup. For eyeliner, I used the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Last Waterproof Eyeliner in Forest Green. I'm like obsessed with this green. I love it. I love the way that it just pairs with my eye color. I feel like it makes my eyes look a little bit more green than blue. And for the lower lash line, I'm just gonna take, again, those two shades and mix them together for the lower lash line. Just using this little Sonia Kashuk brush. This was limited edition, so. And then I'm just gonna go in with my Lash Princess mascara that I always love. Oh, you know what? I meant to put setting spray on and I forgot. Gosh darn. I meant to do that before the mascara. So. All right, so first off, I love the packaging. And I love the color scheme. We already know that, right? The only shadow that I feel like is out of place in this particular palette is the gold. I don't know, it just, because the rest of them are pretty like cool toned and pastel, this gold one I feel like is a little out of place. I wish they would have replaced that with a different shade, maybe another matte shade actually, because you're only getting 4 mattes in here and the rest are shimmery or glitter. And although I love all the mattes in here, because you get a brow bone shade, you get one to like smoke out your looks or use as eyeliner, which I've done in both looks that I did with it. And then you have these 2 like crease color shades, but for some people that just might not be enough as far as mattes go. Like I do wish there was one more matte, and I feel like it would have been replaced with this gold just because I feel like that gold is like more warm toned, you know what I mean? So that's one thing I would change about the palette, but overall I like the color scheme and I really like the packaging. It's very heavy duty. And for $52, that is pretty pricey, but I feel like you get a lot of shadow in here. I mean, you get 12 eyeshadows and they're a good size, like they're not super tiny. When I used the purple shadows in this palette yesterday, I was very in love and I was like, oh my God, I feel like I need a backup of this palette. I'm just so drawn to the colors and I really like the way that the eye look was turning out. But after using it again today, I don't know if I feel the same way. I feel like I need to play with this palette more, to be honest with you. But I mean, I think it's a beautiful palette. So the mattes performed really, really well for me. I didn't have any issues with those. I like that the black is not super intense and dark just because there are a lot of like pastel shades in here. So I feel like it kind of works with the palette well. I like that you get the brow bone shade. I really love these 2 shades here, these 2 mattes. I love these types of mauve tones and taupes. Now, as far as the shimmers go, the shimmers are the silver, the teal, and the gold. I have not used the silver or the gold on my eyes, but if you guys know me, you guys know that I like very shimmery, intense metallic eyeshadows. So, like with the teal that I used today, I feel like it had to be used wet. I just thought it wasn't as intense as I would like dry, so I did use it wet, and I feel like I'm gonna have the same feelings about the silver and the gold shade. But I still do need to play with them on the eyes. Now, as far as the glitters go, I think they're beautiful. I do think you get the most sparkle out of them when you apply them wet. But as you saw in the demo on this look here, I try to use a glitter glue, and I had put a little shadow on first, so maybe if I would have put that glitter glue all over my eyelid before applying shadow and then packing it on, it would have worked better. I felt like the shadow overall just looked more intense when it was wet. So I just feel like if you want the maximum shine or glitter payoff on these glitter shadows, then apply them wet with your brush. I think that's the best way. So the shadows are absolutely gorgeous, but I would definitely recommend doing your face makeup after you do your eyes with this palette. There is a lot of the glitter fallout, and the glitter is like that micro fine shimmer, but you will get it all over your face. Like yesterday when I did the purple look, I had my foundation on already, and I had lots of glitter fallout on my face. I didn't notice as much when I was like sitting in front of my vanity doing the look, but when I went outside like in the car, I was like, oh my God, like I had it all everywhere, like on my chin, on my nose, everywhere. I even had it all over my chest. So that's just one thing to keep note. If you don't like glitter, then I would steer clear of this palette in general. but definitely recommend that you apply the shadows before you do your face makeup. The texture of them is not like super smooth. It's not like a ColourPop Super Shock shadow that has a lot of that microfine shimmer in it. These are more of a powder shadow, so when you touch them, they do feel a little bit grittier because of that glitter, but if you apply them wet, they'll just apply just fine. So I'm happy with the palette overall. I mean, I think it's pretty unique, especially from Stila. I was really drawn to these colors. Like, I love this color scheme so much. So I will definitely continue to use it. But those are my overall general thoughts when using this palette a couple times. So the other eyeshadow palette that Stila came out with is called the After Hours palette. And this is what it looks like right here. So it definitely has more warm tones. I'm very intrigued though. It looks very pretty, but I kind of want to see that one in person before I pick it up. I was just really drawn to this color scheme in this particular palette. That's how I feel about the palette right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you guys want to see more videos. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.